Soulcalibur III.
So now it is time to make the newest member of the team. Creation. Female. The character I'm gonna make for the assassin class is Red from Crimson Dawn. First and so far only direct sequel I've written to one of my books. Because the Horror vs. Fantasy series is set in the same universe, but very different conflicts. So none of them are really direct sequels so far. Okay. Red. Who is also a mercenary. Yeah, we can use that to start. She could have taken up the ninja job, and that would make more sense for when I'm making characters for versus mode, because that also gives her access to Taki style. And what she uses is knives. So it would make more sense. But as far as Chronicles of the Sword specifically, I know that I'm gonna be like just using kunai whenever I can. Not bothering with Taki style, so in that regard it didn't really matter. But one of the other things I'm looking at is which characters of mine best suit like that job, while also using the available fighting styles. And in that case, Red is much more assassin than she is ninja. What hair color is that? 'Cause that's pretty good. 221. Okay. She didn't always have red hair in my mind. When I was first coming up with the character, it was just a matter of I'm putting this team together for this story, and one of the things that's missing is just like a badass fighting woman. And I just asked myself, what's the most badass fighting woman thing that I can think of? And just because of what entertainment I was taking in at the time, the answer was a female Tony Jaa with knives. And so originally, the very first version of Red in my mind was Tai. And so she had black hair. But I don't remember at what point I decided that like a big part of her character was that she was going to have red hair. And also decided that she would be wearing green clothes. And I guess that combination of facts in my head just made her automatically Irish. Of course, it's a fictional world. They don't have an Ireland. Her actual people are called Angara. Lots of lore invented just for her people. Now, normally she'd be wearing something of a crop top, but I don't... I think there is something like that in this game, but I don't think I have it yet. So right now, it's just a matter of what can I get that's, like, close enough. That might be the best, if not for the fur making it look, like, torn. Might circumstantially be short top. I mean, really I should see how things look without the long gloves. Get rid of those, replace them with... I think the best I've ever seen in Soulcalibur for her particular arm braces is the Tiger Lily, which I don't think is in this game. Shigura might be the closest, possibly. Dodge braces? Yeah, I can draw that. Bayonet's gloves? No. Okay. Alright, so now how does that look with the Bayonet's robe? Not great. That might be the best, though. Just because with those particular short sleeves, she looks a bit less professional assassin and more just like she's just starting her day. Yeah, I'll probably end up updating this as I get more clothing. Keep that belt because it's got a knife. Might keep those pants too because of the extra knives. That was one of the things mentioned about her attire in the book, is the vast number of knives that she just carries on her person at all times. That has a dagger but is also more armored. It's not really her. I do like baggy pants the most. There is upper legs, but I think they end up underpants. Yeah, they'll end up hiding those. Okay, shins. Actually, first let's get rid of these boots. Put some shin guards on. There we go. Okay. Oh yeah, personality. Now, in the story, she's like only recently somewhat reformed. So she's still got that, I would say, violent and nasty streak going on. So I don't need to make her personality like goody-goody. But, see they sound. Yeah, see, that kind of sounds perfect.
Wanna die that badly? Wanna die that badly?
Okay. Well, see,
Wanna die that badly?
yeah, that would be the reformed part. Like,
Wanna die that badly?
old her would be like,
To die.
you're gonna die. New her is like,
Wanna die that badly?
do you want to?
Wanna die that badly?
I mean, it's a formality.
Wanna die that badly?
She's gonna kill them anyway, but at least she's pretending to give them the option. Now, it's actually okay for her to have a cute face. But also, like, yeah, that's... I think that's more her attitude. Okay. 8 or 6? I think that one, yeah. I think 6 the best. Yeah, so one of the things about her people, the Angara, they wear specific colors based on the emotion that they're carrying into battle. And she's wearing green, only recently started wearing green, because of feeling freed from prior burdens. 16.4, do I want more? That's a bit shiny. We didn't see what the others look like. And Garin Steel is kind of a bronzy. Maybe like a dark brown. Yeah. But up until then, she had always been wearing red, because red for the Ungar is the color of no emotion. Because after the battle, most likely, you're going to be covered in red. So it's the color that you're wearing the most by default. So they figure, well, that's the color that doesn't mean anything then, in that case. And killing for her had always just been about contracts. Not actually carrying a specific emotion into combat.
changing up the colors here.
Yeah, this is one of those games that when it came to skin-tight outfits, they changed the palette so that you can't get skin color for skin-tight clothing for possibly obvious reasons. But, like, as much as the intentions were pure, it ended up being kind of racist. Because you can still get brown. So, really, it's just that you can't get Caucasian-colored skin-tight clothing. Oh, so if you're making, like, a drow, or... Oh, jeez, I don't even remember the name of the species. The blue people. From James Cameron's Avatar, not the real Avatar. Then, yeah, you can make technically skin-colored outfits. What do I have for 424? Okay, that was way off. How does that look? See, now that looks too red. Ooh, 623? Can try that? No, I don't like that. Okay. Alright, well that looks good. For what I've got right now. Is her hair color where I want to be? Probably is really. Can make it some more red. Not like overly bright. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. I could never decide an eye color for her. I think it actually ended up changing depending on what she was wearing.
That's blue or green? So I'll do that. What's around the paint here? 19, 21.
Okay. I mean, looking at just her face, I think that pops more. I'm gonna see the outfit in combination with it that it might be a lot of green all at once, but yeah, close up, I think I like that.
Wanna die that badly?
Okay. So as for why she got into the assassin line of work originally, I don't think this was mentioned in any of the books I've published so far, but it is something that I came up with for my own notes. And it has stuck in my head, is the fact that in the mythology of her people, the Angara were originally immortal. So, like, back in the beginning there was no death. Everybody was set to live forever, that kind of thing. And then people started mistreating each other in ways that warranted punishment. And eventually somebody did something that was so bad that it required, you know, some stronger form of punishment that would just, like, prevent them from being able to do any further harm to anyone. But they didn't have that kind of power, so they prayed to the deity of their people for the ability to end life. And this ability was granted to just a select few, the people who were the most impacted by the crimes, so that they could be the one to carry out the execution. But what happened, they didn't stop there. The people who had the power to kill decided, you know, just ending this one person's life wasn't enough. They also had to end the life of, you know, the people closest to them. And then everyone who was hurt by that, like extended family, close/distant friends, also prayed to their deity for the ability to get revenge by also being given the power to kill. And so, at first, the ability to kill was something that only belongs to certain people. A lot of them were killed off in the like cycle of revenge and stuff, but also the ability was passed on to their kids until eventually everybody had this ability. And so immortality became not a thing anymore, and tribal warfare started. What was initially one peoples ended up splitting into different groups, each like warring against each other. But also, depending on who exactly your heritage was, that blessing that was bestowed would be in different amounts, depending on genetics. So, long story short, for the Angaran people, the ability to kill is a gift. And some are more gifted than others. And Red is particularly gifted. So going into Assassin as a work, that just seemed natural for her. It's just that this is what I've been put on this earth to do. This is what I'm good at. This is what I'm doing. And so the reason she's called Red, like, that's a nickname. That's not a birth name. Well, it's the nickname that she got because she was always wearing red whenever she was on a job. She didn't, like, carry emotions into a job with her. She's just doing a job, so she was always wearing red. People think it's because of her hair color, and that's a bit of a gag in the book, that people keep making that mistake. But no, it's just because that's what she was always wearing at the time that she developed the nickname. And now that's still her nickname, even though now she's always wearing green. Okay, name entry. Ass, red. Making all these characters is starting to make me feel guilty about, like, I've had a writer's block the past year. I haven't actually been writing much. Spending all this time with these characters is kind of like making me feel even more guilty about that than I already did. Red in particular, it's been a long time since I wrote the book that she appeared in. I did get partway through a follow-up, like maybe a quarter or a third through that book, and then shelved it to work on other projects. Just for certain reasons, the timing of it didn't feel right anymore, and I felt I was being pulled towards other projects. Yeah, we'll start you off with the Wave Sword for now. But unit type. I do kind of want another cavalry. How many cavalries do I have, actually? Bandit, cavalry, bandit, infantry. Okay. Oh wait, he's still infantry? I forgot about that somehow. And actually, that probably does still suit him best. Cause like, he's not a knight. He might look it. He wears a lot of armor, but no. Though, if Talia's a bandit, I feel like Red should be a bandit as well, in that case. Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. Yeah, like, both in terms of writing her character and also, like, just making her in various games, it's been a long time. And I miss her. You know, when you finish a project and you've spent that much time with characters, you start to miss them after a while. Stick with the standard wave sword just to see what it's like before I decide on alternative versions of it. But yeah, as soon as I can, I'll be switching her to the kunai. Sword decided. Of the jobs that I remember that there are still to unlock, there's only one other that I immediately have a character in mind for that I want to do, so I'll try and catch at least one more character creation slot for this playthrough. Now, before you get excited or depressed, depending on how you feel about these character creation segments, I already know the total number of jobs in this game is way more than the maximum number of custom character slots you can have per file. So it won't be possible for me to make one character from every job without having to delete like a ton of them. So I haven't made it my goal to think of a character for each job. There is one other fighting style that uses kunai, but I'm remembering it as being one of the last ones that you get. In fact, I don't even know if it's accessible prior to completing Chronicles of the Sword. So I might not access that on this playthrough. But maybe some others. I'll see what comes up. What I was most looking forward to was getting Assassin and making Red. I'll try and just like enjoy this process of playing through the game more naturally from here on.